Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? I'm back with another banger for y'all today, man. As you see right here, we got the downfall of the biggest Asian drug lord. Nigga got $17 billion, bro. Nigga just got $17 billion just walking around like he got it. Hell, if I had $17 billion, y'all won't be seeing me. Y'all won't be seeing me on YouTube, nigga. I will be in Dubai with 20 hoes. You hear me? With 20 hoes. All of them got a bottle of Don Julio. Yeah, nigga, yeah. So that's what time of time we stepping on when we got $17 billion, you know. But no other than that, man, make sure y'all sub, like, and comment too as well on the video. You know, go ahead and get me to 50 subscribers by the end of this summer too as well. So go ahead and get me right, nigga. Go ahead and get me right. You know. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into the video.
And sophisticated. He allegedly made billions per year, flooding entire countries with his products. This allowed him to live a lavish life, full of opulence and luxury. He made so much money that he once lost 66 million in one night at the casino and wasn't even bothered about it. Certain media outlets have said that he was a bigger player than El Chapo and Pablo Escobar. If that's all true, what was he doing alone at an airport in the Netherlands? This is the story of Tse Shi Lop.
I'm gonna tell y'all now. Tse Shi Lop. Wherever that money was going, that's where he was going. That's why he was in the fucking Netherlands.
Tse Shi Lop was born in 1963 in the Chinese city of Guangzhou. Later on, Tse moved from Guangzhou to Hong Kong, where he would become part of the triad called Big Circle Boys, or the Big Circle Gang. A triad once formed by former members of the Red Guards, a paramilitary group established by Mao Zedong. The name Big Circle Gang allegedly came from a circle drawing on a map that indicated in which part of China they operated. The Big Circle rapidly spread across Canadian cities, and in 1988, Tse followed suit at age 25 and moved to Canada as well. And together with the gang, he focused on bringing in large ships.
That's still crazy, nigga. At 25 years old, this nigga decides to move to Canada and talking about, oh, first thing I'm gonna do when I get to Canada is figure out how I'm gonna bring large shipments of heroin in Canada to sell. Man, put this nigga under the jail, nigga. Like, what the fuck? Like, what we doing, bro? Like, what is the purpose, nigga? At 25, nigga, you still can live, nigga. This ain't everything, nigga. What?
Shipments of heroin into the United States. In October 1997, Tse Shi Lop's life took a drastic turn. He frequently traveled back to Hong Kong for business. Despite always operating under the radar, their business was growing so fast that they caught the eye of law enforcement in the United States. Tse and the rest of the gang were held responsible for the flood of heroin into the country. The authorities in Hong Kong arrested Tse Shi Lop, as per request of the United States, and immediately extradited him. Tse was accused of large-scale drug smuggling in the United States, and all signs pointed towards him getting a life sentence. But then, totally unexpected, he managed to get sentenced to just 9 years in prison. Tse had said in court that he had learned his lesson and deeply regretted his actions. He shared his future plans that he wanted to open a restaurant and stay on the right side of the law again for the rest of his life. Yeah. He also went on to say that he had...
I heard that one before, my guy. Yeah. If I'm the judge, yeah. I heard that one before, my guy. You done so, nigga.
had to take care of his elderly parents and a sick child, thus could not afford to be in jail for life and begged for a lenient sentence. Whether he spoke the truth or not, it most definitely helped him with the sentencing. 9 years for such large drug smuggling in the United States is unheard of. If he truly regretted, his actions were very questionable. After serving 9 years, Tse was released in 2006 from the federal prison in Elkton, Ohio. He returned to Canada, where he served another 4 years of supervised probation, with regular check-ins and other mandatory rules he had to follow. Tse followed all the rules and seemed to be on the right path again. A year after he finished his supervised probation, Tse registered a new company in Hong Kong under his wife's name in 2011. The company was named China Peace Investment Group Company Limited. The China Peace Investment Group was supposed to be a group of investors who would invest their funds into real estate, the financial markets, and more mainly Hong Kong.
That's good.
However, the American DEA discovered something completely different. The company was nothing more than a cover-up. They had discovered that Say was involved in smuggling again, and interestingly enough, he did not pick up where he left off in 1997.
These niggas never learn, bro. Like, these type of niggas never learn. That nigga said, after 9 years of jail, 4 years of supervised, I'ma still go do the fucking same thing. That nigga thought, if I do it differently this time, I'm not gonna get caught. Bro, when will these people learn, bro? When will they learn? When will these people learn, bro?
He became much bigger than before. So much for learning his lesson. Say became the head of his own syndicates and managed to create an alliance with several other different Chinese triads, such as the 14K, Wung Xingwu, and Sun Yi-on. All these triads essentially worked for Say. His syndicate stood at the top of it all. It is said that he even managed to reconcile between notorious rival triads, showing them that working together would be more beneficial than staying each other's enemies. Say's organization became known as the Sam Gore Syndicate, or the Company. Say knew that operating in absolute silence unwanted attention, and attention was bad for business. He made them realize that the pie was big enough for everyone to make a lot of money, and he was not wrong. Say's organization.
He on the right track, but he doing the wrong fucking thing. Like, this nigga mind on the money, but this nigga talking about selling drugs. I mean, goddamn, nigga. I don't know, bro. Everybody work different, nigga.
Organization sold heroin and ketamine by the masses, although his real moneymaker had always been the highly addictive drug meth. His preferred method of smuggling was always between packets of tea. Part of him becoming such a big player was his professional business model. Say's production line might be a prime example of how to produce high-quality drugs on a large scale. Hidden in the valley of Myanmar's Shan state, in the heart of Southeast Asia's Golden Triangle, the syndicates produced high-quality amphetamine in so-called super labs. Perfectly set up labs that ensured maximum efficiency to produce as fast and as much as possible. Another compelling fact about his business model is that he guaranteed free replacements at no extra cost or deposits. If one of his deliveries was intercepted by police, customs, or if a shipment had gotten stolen with proof, this offer was irresistible and brought in a lot of buyers. Though this policy would also bring him in trouble, it put him on the radar of the police without having a clue. Say was flooding the Australian market with his drugs. In 2011, Australian police officers arrested a group of Australians importing heroin and meth into the country. It was only a small bust, so police decided not to arrest them and instead put them under surveillance, tapping their phones and tracking their moves, in the hopes of finding clues that led them higher up the ladder. The group's shipments kept getting intercepted, which led to them constantly asking for replacement shipments from the syndicate. Even though the policy was still in place, the syndicate got fed up with this group, as many other Australian shipments went fine. In 2013, the leader of the Australian group was summoned to Hong Kong to explain himself. Australian police informed their Hong Kong counterparts of this man who they were observing. Hong Kong police took over the surveillance and spotted the man meeting up with none other.
Question: what is the best e-commerce business to start today? Is it dropshipping from China and selling on Shopify? Long delivery time, low margins, and communication issues? Nope. Or
other than Say Chi Lop himself.
Damn.
This put him immediately on the radar of Hong Kong authorities. Why did he meet with an Australian drug smuggler? They started observing Tsai and saw he was a big spender, living in luxury, moving with an army of personal security often made up of at least 8 professional Thai kickboxers who were often rotated as part of his safety protocol. It is important to note that at this point, Tsai Shilop was totally unknown to them, and Hong Kong authorities did not know about the magnitude of his business. He would go on to host lavish birthday parties each year at expensive resorts and 5-star hotels, flying his family and entourage over in private jets. He once brought his family and entire entourage.
But that's how you get caught, though. You doing big shit in these foreign countries. Like, they gonna track that shit, bro. Like, you spending about he probably ain't even spending 700,000. This nigga, they ain't even tripped over millions. I bet this nigga probably spent like 15 million on one trip, nigga. Like, niggas gonna see that, nigga. You ain't balling. Like, I mean, no, you balling, but you ain't no, like, you balling like you make this money fast or some shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, that shit just, you know, I don't know, y'all get what I'm saying, bro.
Over to Thailand for a full month in a luxury resort. Tse could always be seen working though, often on his phone, texting and calling, giving orders. If there's anything that Tse loved more than living in luxury, it was gambling. You've probably heard of the term high roller before. Tse Shilop was the true definition of a high roller. He would frequently go on gambling sprees, where he would not be betting thousands or tens of thousands for that matter. Tse betted millions upon millions. An investigator said that
who the fuck he betting against? Who in the fuck is this nigga betting against? Don't nigga got bread.
he observed Tse losing $66 million in one night on the tables in Macau.
Oh my God.
$66 million in one night. Can you imagine that? If one is capable of losing 66 million in a night and not be too bothered, there's plenty of reason for more investigation.
Exactly.
Who was this man? And how did he become so rich?
Exactly.
Investigators doubled down and were determined to find out who exactly this ultra-rich mystery man was. After many more observations, police suspected Tse Shilop of being a major trafficker of meth and heroin, as well as ecstasy into the United States and Australia, among other countries. Though they still had yet to realize the entire scope of his organization. In the morning of the 15th of November 2016, Kai Zheng was on his way back home to Taiwan. While walking through the Myanmar airport, Kai seemed nervous, alert, and kept picking at his blistered hands. His entire demeanor aroused suspicion. It led to Kai being stopped and searched. Police found 80 grams of ketamine on him, taped to his thighs. His hands were bad because he had been handling drugs. These drugs are very toxic, an official said. Despite being tipped by the DEA about Kai, airport police said they were lucky to catch Kai. He basically snitched on himself by being so nervous. Kai refused to speak, and police decided to go through his phone. On his phone, they found a video of a crying man that was tied up, surrounded by 3 members of a triad who did some unfriendly things to him, so to say. The man in question allegedly threw 300 kilos of meth overboard from a boat because he thought a law enforcement boat was nearing in. The video was sent to people like Kai as a reminder not to play stupid games or be disloyal. Kai did not have just one phone in his possession though, he had another one. This phone would be called an Aladdin's Cave of Intel by a police commander. The phone had incredible amounts of photos, videos, logs of phone conversations, and thousands of texts related to drug smuggling. After puzzling a lot of the content together, it led police to an address in Yangon in Myanmar. An address where a company packaged loose-leaf Chinese tea. Remember how Tse's syndicate preferred to smuggle their drugs?
In tea packets.
What if you could get paid to learn how to code? This is Caleb. Caleb was once a burnt-out
2 days after Kai's arrest, Myanmar police decided to raid the address. They hit the jackpot. They found 622 kilograms of ketamine and 1,100 kilos of crystal meth, among other drugs. Kai was confronted with the news, yet still did not dare to speak. Meanwhile, police were still going through his phone meticulously. While looking through the pictures on his phone, an investigator suddenly jumped up. He noticed a familiar face in a picture. It was Tse Shilop. He recognized his face after being involved in the observation of Tse back in 2013. Kai's phone was later shared with law enforcement agencies all over the world, where Tse might have smuggled his drugs to. Australian, Chinese, Japanese, and New Zealand police forces all took their turns on inspecting the content. They were able to tie large shipments to one group, the one Kai was working for. Prior to this revelation, they thought it was done by multiple groups. That wasn't the case. This was all Tse Shilop and his enormous organization. It was dubbed as a mega syndicate by a Chinese anti-narcotics agency. Further investigation showed that the epicenter of the syndicate's production shifted from China to Shan State in Myanmar in the last few years.
I ain't gonna lie, this nigga is the biggest drug dealer. Nah, this nigga's the biggest drug dealer I probably ever heard of. I don't even know. I ain't even gonna. Don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on it now. We gonna tussle if you quote me on it. But damn, this nigga making bread though, like all over the world. If one nation gotta call if one continent gotta call another continent and be like, damn, look for this nigga, bro, because like we can't look for this nigga. That nigga had power. That nigga had bread, nigga. Like, damn.
China provided the syndicate with easy access to important ingredients, but not the freedom to produce on a large enough scale without law enforcement interference. Myanmar did provide the syndicate this freedom to produce without being bothered by law enforcement. Guarded by rebel groups, Tsay's syndicate has the ultimate freedom to produce there. Materials and workers were picked up in high-end SUVs and brought to their facility. Everyone knew what was going on, though no one spoke on it, because doing so would bring you in serious danger, and you would not want to go against Tsay Shilop. The Asia-Pacific retail market for meth is estimated to be worth $30.3 to $61.4 billion annually. With its costs being relatively low, no need for an extensive labor force, and high price per kilo, the revenues were unbelievably high. It is estimated by the UNODC, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, that he would produce 1 kilo in his Myanmar superlabs for approximately $1,800 per kilo. The average retail price per kilo in Thailand would be $70,000, $300,000 in Australia, and $588,000 in Japan. In Japan, that would mean a markup for over 300 times. If Tsay lost 10 tons and just one shipment went through, he would still have made a huge profit. That's why he could offer those replacements for lost shipments so easily. The UNODC further estimated that Tsay's meth revenue alone was $8 billion a year in 2018, but could be as high as $18 billion. His syndicate would also have a 40%...
They basically saying that nigga wasn't working hard enough. Could be as high, you know, if he was really working hard, you know, it could be as high as 18 billion.
And to 70% share of the entire wholesale market. The numbers are insane if you let that sink in. Experts have compared Tsay's syndicate to Latin American cartels, suggesting it was just as big or sometimes even bigger. Tsay Shilop is in the league of El Chapo or maybe Pablo Escobar, said Jeremy Douglas, Southeast Asia and Pacific representative for the United Nations Office on Drugs. The word kingpin often gets thrown around, but there is no doubt it applies here. Compared to Latin American cartels, Tsay's syndicate operates transnational. It is enormously wealthy, well-disciplined, and sophisticated. As mentioned earlier, Tsay did a very good job showing others that there was a lot of money to be made for everyone. It also supplies a bigger, more dispersed drug market and collaborates with a diverse range of local crime groups, which causes less uncontrolled outbreaks. They function like a global corporation with seamless efficiency, an anti-drugs official said. The experts also compared the personas of, for example, El Chapo or Pablo Escobar to Tsay Shilop. Where El Chapo and Pablo were very famous and extremely violent, Tsay is discreet and unknown.
He's very unknown, nigga.
Hi, my name's Cody Sperber. I know your time's very valuable. I've been in real estate for over 20 years. I want to partner with you. Screw buying courses if you're...
What do you think? Is he bigger than El Chapo or Pablo Escobar? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Tsay has had some struggles too. In February 2018, one of his super labs in Myanmar was raided by the police. More than 200,000 litres of chemicals were seized, as well as 10,000 kilograms of caffeine and 73,550 kilograms of sodium hydroxide, all substances needed for production. That same year, several senior members of his were arrested. In addition to these arrests, small labs that were used to experiment with new recipes were also raided. To make matters worse, the seizures of his shipments went up significantly too, while the prices of his drugs fell. But Tsay would not be Tsay if he would not come up with new ways to smuggle his drugs. He rerouted his deliveries and even started deploying hordes of Laotians who would carry 30 kilograms of drugs in a backpack across borders for him. However, the heat was on. Law enforcement in Australia went after Tsay and wanted to arrest him as soon as possible. They were done with him flooding their country with his drugs. For years on end, they searched. Tsay himself was aware that he was being hunted down and moved with precaution. That makes it all the more interesting that completely out of nowhere, the news broke that one of the world's biggest kingpins was arrested at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport in the Netherlands on the 22nd of January 2021. What was Tsay, indeed one of the world's biggest kingpins, doing at Schiphol Airport as a regular passenger? Well, he wanted to catch a flight from Taiwan to Canada and had a layover in Amsterdam.
Damn.
Unfortunately for him, he would not make it to Canada anymore. Tse fought against being extradited to Australia, but was still sent there in December 2022. Many questions arose when I read this. Why would he take this regular flights alone with a stopover? He should have had enough money and power to arrange a private jet.
Exactly.
Right? Well, the answer to these questions, we will probably never know.
Damn.
After being arrested once and being let off easily, it seemed as if Tse was ready to double down on his efforts to become a major player in the drug business. He professionalized his business and made himself billions of dollars. Out of all the possible ways of his story ending, no one probably expected it to be at Schiphol Airport in the Netherlands, while he was getting ready for his layover to Canada.
Damn. I ain't even gonna lie. I learned some new shit today. There was an Asian drug lord that was on his motherfucking shit, nigga. Like, that nigga was like doing his shit for real. That nigga might be as big as El Chapo and Pablo Escobar. I ain't even gonna lie. That nigga lost 68 million one night and was like, shit, I don't even care for real. I don't even care for real, bro. That shit is crazy, bro. That shit is crazy. But man, let me know if y'all like the video, man. Y'all want more videos like this, want more reactions like this too as well, man. Just let me know. You know, I do the basketball reactions. I can do the, you know, reactions like this, music reactions, all that, you know. So, just let a young nigga know. Just let a young nigga know. You know, but other than that, y'all, man, I hope you have a blessed day. Stay safe. And I'm out of here.